Big E lost the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar at Day 1 last Saturday in a fatal five-way match. According to reports, the original plan was for Seth Rollins to win the bout. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, via Sports Illustrated, reported that the visionary leader was supposed to win the WWE Championship instead of Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate was slated to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at Day 1, but the match was scrapped after the latter tested positive for COVID-19. As a last-minute inclusion, Lesnar entered the WWE title match and won. The original plan to build for WrestleMania, whatever it was, changed greatly when Lesnar pinned Big E to win the WWE title to end Saturday's show, said Meltzer. The original scripted plan for the show was for Big E to lose the championship, but to Seth Rollins, who had tested positive for COVID-19 last week, and the champion instead lost his title to Lesnar as the result of another positive test. Brock Lesnar will defend the coveted championship against Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view later this month. The Almighty defeated Seth Rollins, Big E and Kevin Owens on Raw to earn the title shot. Since Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar couldn't face each other at WWE Day 1, the next step is for the two champions to collide at WrestleMania 38. This means either one or two of the world titles will be on the line at the event. Dave Meltzer reported that despite the recent changes in plans, WWE is still going ahead with its original plan for the two world champions at the show of shows. I know that they've got everything worked out between now and WrestleMania. Everything is worked out. All the original plans, there were some changes obviously because the Lesnar and Roman Reigns match from Saturday didn't happen, but they've got their new twists and turns, and the final destination, which is presumably Lesnar and Roman Reigns, is still on, said Dave Meltzer. Brock Lesnar is currently scheduled to appear on the upcoming episode of SmackDown, to resume his rivalry with the Tribal Chief. He has also been advertised for next week's Monday Night Raw. WWE veteran MVP seems more than ready to take on Paul Heyman in a promo battle. On last night's edition of Raw, Bobby Lashley won the #1 Contenders Fatal 4-Way match and will be facing Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at Royal Rumble 2022. Lesnar reunited with Paul Heyman earlier in the show, and the stars finally aligned for a dream encounter. The WWE Universe is excited to see Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar's eventual collision. Fans are also hoping to see MVP and Paul Heyman battle it out on the microphone. The former US champion has now shared a cryptic post teasing that he is ready to go at it with Paul Heyman on the mic. MVP posted a photo of a hand holding a mic, hinting that he's planning to give Heyman a run for his money. Paul Heyman is regarded by many as one of the greatest managers in pro wrestling history. His exceptional mic skills have aided Brock Lesnar and many others to get over in front of the WWE Universe. There aren't many in the company who can stand toe-to-toe with Heyman when it comes to the microphone. On the other hand, MVP isn't one to mess with on the mic, either. The former US champion returned to WWE during the 2020 Royal Rumble match and immediately chased Paul Heyman at ringside. MVP didn't last long in the ring and was quickly thrown out by Brock Lesnar. A short while later, MVP aligned with Bobby Lashley on WWE Raw. This ended up being one of WWE's best bookings of the year, and MVP's mic skills helped Lashley get over as a credible heel. It eventually resulted in a WWE title run for the Almighty. Bobby Lashley lost the belt to Big E last year, but now has an opportunity to become the top champion again. Lashley vs. Lesnar is a match fans have wanted for a long time now. As for MVP and Paul Heyman, fans are in for a treat when these two men finally go head-to-head in the coming days. Ric Flair recently recalled wrestling Brock Lesnar back in 2002, and the WWE Hall of Famer spoke highly of the current WWE champion. Lesnar made his WWE debut in the spring of 2002, and the next big thing quickly became the most popular star in the company and put down a long list of big names on the roster. 2 decades later, Brock Lesnar is still going strong. During the latest edition of One Nation Uncensored, Ric Flair opened up about wrestling Lesnar back in 2002, when the latter was a rookie. The living legend described how Lesnar took care of him when they faced off. "He took care of me," said Flair. "He never hurt me, he never hurt me. I'll tell you that, when he latches onto you, you're not going anywhere. The first time I wrestled him was the night Steve Austin quit in Atlanta, and Vince said, 'You're not part of Raw,' I said. 'I thought I owned Raw,' he said. 'You're wrestling Brock Lesnar tonight.'" As Flair noted, WWE booked his bout with Lesnar on the night Steve Austin temporarily walked out of the company. Stone Cold was set to face and lose to Lesnar, but he didn't want to take the loss in a match that hadn't been built up properly. Lesnar proceeded to pin Flair and cement his status as the next big thing. Lesnar was on a hot streak back in mid-2002, and he took down some of the most dominant stars in the company at the time. During the newcomer's rapid rise, Ric Flair lost to him 3 times. In Lesnar's autobiography, Death Clutch: My Story of Determination, Domination and Survival, he wrote in detail about Ric Flair. He opened up about how he didn't want to see himself turn into Flair, who kept wrestling into his 60s. Brock Lesnar is currently 44 years old, and he is arguably the biggest draw in wrestling today. Judging by the kind of money that Lesnar has made over the years, coupled with his lifestyle, it's safe to assume that he won't need to wrestle when he's 60. Lesnar won the WWE Championship for the first time at SummerSlam 2002, just a few weeks after his win over Ric Flair. Lesnar won the title for the sixth time at WWE Day 1 last weekend. He will defend the gold against Bobby Lashley in a dream match at WWE Royal Rumble. The Rock recently responded to an incredible moment between Rick Steiner and Braun Breaker after NXT New Year's Evil went off the air. The NXT Championship was won by Braun Breaker. Soon after his victory, his father Rick Steiner joined him inside the ring to celebrate the emphatic victory. Rick Steiner is a former WWF Tag Team Champion, having won the titles with his brother Scott Steiner in the past. His son, Braun Breaker, now looks to be following in his father's footsteps in terms of winning titles and championships. The official Instagram handle of WWE NXT captured the moment and posted it online. The Rock took note of the heartwarming father-son moment and responded by stating in a comment, "Very cool." The Rock definitely seemed to have appreciated the moment that occurred between Rick Steiner and Braun Breaker. Check out The Rock's response to the reunion of Braun Breaker and Rick Steiner. The Rock last appeared for a match in WWE back in April 2016 at WrestleMania 32 against Eric Rowan. The match was won by The Rock, but the Great One did so in just a few seconds. As of right now, there seems to be no proper indication regarding the in-ring return of The Rock. It pretty much is a matter of if, and not when The Rock will return to WWE for another match. According to rumors, it has been reported that The Rock might share the ring with his cousin Roman Reigns in the near future. Reports have somewhat indicated that the former WWE Champion might return for a feud against the Tribal Chief over the WWE Universal title. However, nothing has been confirmed. The Rock is still busy with his career in Hollywood and is on the back of a huge success, courtesy of the movie Red Notice. Kevin Owens' wife Karina Elias revealed on Instagram that she has tested positive for COVID-19. While she did not confirm if her husband had also contracted COVID-19, it was noted that their son, Owen, had begun showing symptoms of the virus. Karina Elias also urged everyone to get a vaccine booster shot, as it has been proven to counter the known symptoms of COVID-19 effectively. Here's what she posted on Instagram: "COVID has hit our household. So far only I've tested positive. But Owen's starting symptoms as well. People please get your booster. I put it off, and my symptoms are not fun: fever, horrible body aches. I know several people that have gotten their booster and were pretty much asymptomatic when they got COVID recently," announced KO's wife. WWE has been hit with a massive COVID-19 outbreak of late, as a few top stars had to be pulled from television after testing positive. Roman Reigns' last-minute absence also threatened to derail WWE's plans for Day 1, as he was slated to compete against Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. WWE added the Beast Incarnate to Raw's World title match, and he went on to win the Fatal 5-Way contest, which also included Kevin Owens. The former Universal Champion has been in the WWE title picture for the past few weeks and formed an intriguing heel alliance with Seth Rollins on Raw. The duo were also heavily featured on the Red Brand's most recent episode, as they were in the #1 Contenders main event with Big E and eventual winner Bobby Lashley. Owens recently signed a new long-term WWE contract and continues to be a vital member of the roster. In case you missed it, Drew McIntyre even called KO a locker room leader during a recent Sportskeeda Wrestling exclusive. We would like to send our best wishes to KO and his family. Also, stay tuned as we gather more updates on his status and immediate future on Raw.